If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Altar Call MAFS. I'm your host Tane, here with this week's reality show Ramble. I've been trying to catch up on my movies for award season, but I did a bad job this week. I think I only watched Wicked for Good and it was okay. But I find that historically it's very rare to find movies that are better, where the sequel is better than the original. I think because the original for me was a pleasant surprise. Like I really enjoyed it. I don't know what I expected, but I really enjoyed it. So for this, it was the same thing. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't anything extraordinary. And it's also been kind of sad to see Cynthia being shut out. But yeah, wasn't bad. It was good. I also caught up with Heated Rivalry. Everyone's been talking about it. And I was having FOMO, but it's a quick, 6 episodes? And, they didn't lie. Sometimes the internet hypes things up so much, but I enjoyed it for someone who doesn't like romance. But 10 over 10, no notes. Completely enjoyed it. It's on HBO Max if you want to check that out. As always, a reminder that patreon.com/AltarCallMAFS having a sale the entire month, 26% off for the new year. 2026. Right now, the last bonus episode up there was Cult of the Housewife with Aid. I'll be having a bonus episode coming up with Before the 90 Days. Up on the regular feed, I have Murder in Monaco, a documentary that I did with Amy from Little Miss Recap. Traders, everyone's talking about Traders. Traders Recap is coming to your feed pretty soon. And also Love is Blind Germany, episode 1 to 4 with Brian from Mass Virgin is up. So a lot of content for you to catch up on. And let me get to the shows that I watched this week. What did I watch? Okay. Drag Race season 18 is back. And based on the first episode, it's already better than All Star season 10, which I did not enjoy. I did not like the format. I just did not enjoy it. It just really dragged and it just wasn't giving for me. But this already in one episode, I already like the cast. I already like their energy. I like all the reads. I like their confessionals. Everything is just going well, at least for me. So I'm hoping and being positive for a good season. Who am I rooting for? Anyone already? It's too early for me to call, but I will say that Athena caught my eye. And speaking of Athena, her drag family kind of are in there. There's a lot of girlies from Florida. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's like if we have people from the same family in the same season, is that a good idea? I think generally I'm beginning to find out that I don't like it when people have people in competitive reality shows. It's just kind of like an advantage, I believe, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to play out or if it's going to be a thing at all, but there are a lot of girlies from Florida. Um, I also like Kenya Pliza. That's a lot of personality. She won the first mini challenge, so good for her. And a rookie mistake. How do you forget to bring fabric to a design thing. But it's the same thing. If you guys remember when I talked about Survivor, where I said, like, you have to practice fire, like, these are the same things. This is season 18. You have to know there's going to be a design challenge. And they decided to start with a design challenge for the first episode. There can't be people who say I don't sew. Like, I don't, we still have that. And I don't understand it. Like, even if you can't take a quick class, get some kind of lessons, but still coming on here, it's season 18 and saying, well, it's not my thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you have to get that together at least before you apply. Some funny moments. I think Mandy not knowing who Nini Coco was outside of drag, that was kind of hilarious to me. I enjoyed Cardi B as a judge. I think she was really funny. She was really into it. I don't know if she was conscious of or thinking that she was being mean, and then had that segment which was like, "Oh, I'm just being honest with you guys." But it was fun. It was a fun affair as a judge, and then they lip synced to her song. I don't know what everybody else thought. I did think the lip sync was kind of weak from both of them. I couldn't even decide who was going to win, but I think Nini rightfully won. Sorry, should have said spoiler alert, but I think by now, you should have watched it. It's 2 episodes in. Yay, engineer. It was funny because like my coworkers are going to be very surprised when they see me on here, and I always wonder about that. I think when I had Brittany on the show from Maps, I asked the same thing. When you come on a reality show and someone sees like your entire other side of yourself, how do you go back to work like in the meeting and it's just go back to normal? I couldn't do it, but it's always fascinating to me how people are able to do that. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. Nothing much yet, but I enjoyed it. So let me know if you're watching, and am I in the minority of people? I think that's the consensus. I think I didn't really read anything about it of what of All Stars. Did people like All Stars? Because no, I didn't. But we'll see. I think as the season goes on, I will know better if there are people that I am rooting for. Did I already mention Darlene Mitchell? There's just something about her that's just really calm and serene, and I like her. But we'll see. Okay, the other show that I'm watching, Worst Cooks in America. It's not because CT's on there. I watched last season when Wes was on there. Um, I like the group that they have. It looks like they're sticking to prototypes. They have someone again from Dancing with the Stars. They have someone from the challenge. Last season was West. This season it is CT. They've had Mark Long in the past. Oh wait, speaking of Mark Long, he is here and he showed up as a guest judge. And I just wondered what the connection was, like, of all the people that they could have had, why was he the one who came to be the judge? And I know he works behind, I don't know, behind the scenes on TV, and I wondered if this was a show that he worked on, and I checked and I did not see that. So I was it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, it wasn't bad. They did not acknowledge that CT and Mark Long know each other or have a connection. Because the thing about this group of people is always like they all come from different worlds, much like traders, and a lot of them don't know each other from their different shows. So the host this year is Chef Tiffany and Chef Jeff Morrow. I don't know if people know this, but Chef Jeff was the winner of Food Network Star. I used to love that show until they stopped doing it. I believe he was like the his focus was sandwiches or something, but he was always very charismatic. That was something that he always had. So good for him. He's been able to turn that into a long lasting career on here. So he understands the assignment and he plays to the camera a lot. And then it is Chef Tiffany Derry, who was also on Top Chef. I forget what season she was on, but also someone that I enjoy. Last season was Chef Jeff, and I want to say Chef Antonia, so I'm not sure what the switch was. Normally it was Chef Anne Burrell who usually hosts this show, but sadly, she passed away. So, yeah. Yeah, I enjoy the coaches. I just realized that I have not mentioned who is on the cast for this season. So I'm just gonna say like we have two teams. Chef Jeff, because Mark Long, like I said, came, they prepared the meal based on the worst meal, which was done by Beverly Mitchell. And then whoever won was able to pick their first team. And then whoever was less, the underdogs, the other chef got them. So Chef Tiffany won. So she got to pick Team Red, and on that team is Reza, Amara La Negra from Real Housewives of Miami. Reza is from Shaws of Sunset and Now the Valley Persian Style. Val from Dancing with the Stars. Manila from Drag Race. And Romeo Miller, the artist formerly known as Little Romeo, Master P's son, and former host of X on the Beach. And then in the blue team with Chef Jeff, the underdogs is Beverly Mitchell, known from Seventh Heaven, CT from The Challenge, Ryan Lochte, Olympic swimmer, Downtown Julie Brown, VJ from MTV, and Lisa Barlow from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The thing about this show that I've said before is they usually claim like they don't know how to cook. But for some of them, maybe they don't, but for some of them, they do know how to cook. Last season when they had Wes, I know that I've seen some meals on Wes's Instagram that he's made for his family. So to come in here and act like you don't know how to cook completely, Rachel came on there acting Rachel Riley from Big Brother fame came on there like she didn't know how to cook, but then she was on Big Brother 27 last summer, and I remember that Will, one of the house guests, was like, I would want to be stuck in a house with her because she cooks all the meals and at least I'll have someone to cook for me. And she was cooking in the house and she used to make food for Keanu. So I don't know. They just come in here and act like they don't know how to cook, but anything for a check. Yeah, a check, right? Because for CT also, I think Gabe also said like CT used to make food in the house. Now I know CT is good at grilling. Maybe he's good at grilling and not actually cooking, but he's not like completely lost in the kitchen. Now, who's lost? Lisa Barlow is completely lost. We know for sure. She doesn't cook. She eats a lot of fast food. So that is genuine. So I'm not saying it's all of them, but every now and then there are people who know how to cook. But like I said, I'm enjoying this cast of people because there's a lot of people, and this is why they cast reality show people, majority of them, because they know how to turn it up. Everyone is giving what you're asking of them. They know how to exaggerate. They know how to play their parts. And it's working so far. I'm not going to say who was at the bottom because I don't want to give a spoiler in case someone hasn't watched. And for me, I don't mind spoilers, but for competitive reality shows, I usually don't like that being spoiled, even though um, I kind of told you who won the the lip sync, but that's because nobody goes home, so it's not really a spoiler. But in this case, somebody does go home, but I'm not going to spoil it for you in case you are going to watch. But I will be watching Worst Cooks in America. It's not the most, riveting TV. It's not top of the list, especially now that we have so much content. But it's just something I enjoy because you can tell everybody's just ramping it up. Everyone has these things to say, and it's just a little funny there. Okay, next show is Love and Hip Hop Miami. Are some of you saying, what? That show is still on? Yes, it is. From those of you who remember, the Love and Hip Hop franchises were like so big back in the day. And yes, I am still watching. The last surviving cities are Miami and Atlanta. I think Atlanta is coming back next week, but I miss Hollywood. Hollywood used to be so good. But Miami has been on 100 the last few seasons. It is now on BET, and even I am surprised that this show is still on. And they have, well, not Miami. Miami has a large cast, but Atlanta, honestly, I don't know how they're accommodating all of them. And now they go on cast trips on Atlanta. I think that's their cash cow with the franchises, and that cast is so large. There's just a lot of them. But Miami is still thriving. But my aggravation with it is everyone is using Amara La Negra for a story. Listen, the girl seems to attract drama all the time, but this the latest drama with her baby daddy and him getting arrested and her being accused by Tip. Tip is like a dog with a bone and she would not let it go, and it's giving weird. Like, let it go. It has nothing to do with you. Hot Topic I know is messy, so I get it, but Tip, I just, even if you're looking for a storyline, this is just ridiculous. It's becoming too much. So, yeah, everyone just tries to use Amara for a storyline. We have a new character introduced, Kent. I He went through something, and I just don't think he's returned to form. I don't understand his new clothes, his music. He's stuck in the 70s. Like, he's wearing floral patterns, bell bottoms, and you can't wear a mink coat in Miami. It's hot. So he's wearing like a pimp hat, and it's like, what are you doing? And he has a girlfriend who has her own, like, it's not OnlyFans, but in that direction. And she has like a foot fetish, and he's trying to introduce her to his aunt who's really religious. So, oh, did I mention that? Yes, Miami is still around, but it's just very exaggerated and over the top. But yes, I'm the problem. I'm still watching. And also the season, Michael Blackson is on here. I don't, he's here with his girlfriend Rada. I don't know where the love or the hip hop is in that. But we've all seen it play out in the storyline where we know that Rada was pregnant and she found out that Michael Blackson was expecting another child with somebody else. And I think she's willing to let him humiliate her on TV because there's no way she didn't know about this. So she must have known about the other kid. And let me give a background on this. So VH1 had a show many, many years ago called Couples Retreat. And some of the couples would come on there, reality TV shows, stars would come on there to work on their issues as couples, similar to kind of like marriage boot camp. So with Rada and Michael Blackson, theirs was like, he's like, I've never been faithful. I'm never going to be faithful. And what does Rada do? He's allowed to have a side piece once a month. Yes, you heard me right. He's allowed to have a side piece once a month. The only rules are just like he can't have an emotional connection. You can't see them again. You can't have repeat offenders and, things like that. So he happened to get one of the side pieces pregnant because it wasn't a one time thing. He just kept going. As if that's not enough, there's a possibility that he has a third person pregnant in his home country of Ghana. So it's just a hot mess. And just the fact that she's willing to come on TV to watch this all play out and relive the humiliation is very weird to me. But what do we know? And even on the show, he's still trying to get with Gael, and it's just very, very strange. Shay, who we knew from Flavor of Love, is still on here, and her mom puts her aside and is just like, you might know her as Bucky, is telling her like, you gotta stop fighting with people, because I don't know what's wrong with Shay has been on Iyanla also. She just had issues with her mom, but she's in a good space with her mom. She has her daughter. She finally got rid of her toxic boyfriend Fable, and her mom is like, 20 years later you're still fighting people. You just really need to stop. I don't know why she let Tip and Hot Topic get in her ear about Amara, and she just quickly reacted like she usually does and is like, you're not my friend anymore. So she needs to do something with her anger issues. But I am glad that she's good with her mom and she's appreciating her mom. Her mom does set her up on a blind date, and it really was good. His name was Walik, and he turned his life around, and it was great. She has a launch event for Side Eye, a long capsule. I don't know what that is. I don't know what she's selling, but yeah, okay. And we have this episode this week was supposed to be the reemergence of Boots from Flavor of Love also. And again, it's so ridiculous to come rehash a beef from almost over 20 years ago. It's just weird behavior. You come crash her launch, and even weirder behavior is Joy, Trick Daddy's ex-wife. She's being very weird this season. I don't, maybe they told her she needs to, spice it up a little bit, get a story that's besides Trina. I don't know. But the whole moving into Trick's house, the whole her sister, she stole Trick from her sister. Her sister was dating Trick and she didn't know it was him. I don't know if I believe that, but it's just also messy. And it's weirder when you watch people at this age doing all of this, but again, I'm the problem. I'm still watching it. So this is what is happening right now. But Joy just believing Gael and saying that that's what Shay said, because I believe Shay was like, this is not the Joy that we know, and this is not something that I would expect from her. And Gael just kind of twisted that, and Joy just took that and ran. Didn't even question anything. So I don't know what's going on with Joy, but she is kind of off. But that's what's going on with Miami now. There's just a lot of drama, as usual, going on there. There's just always a fight. But if you're wondering if it's still going on, yes, it is. It is still on, but it's just now on BET if you want to add that to your DVR. Okay. Very, very busy week, but The Valley Persian Style premiered. We got two episodes that premiered. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was not excited when I heard about this reboot because the way Shaw's ended, I was glad that it was off TV because I was just like, these are horrible, horrible people. This is not okay. You do not act like this to your friends. These are people who said like horrible things to each other. Reza just blurting out medical information about MJ, talking about how many abortions she's had, and just fights everywhere. It was just
If weight management is one of your New Year goals, Quicksilver Scientific's GLP-1 amplifier can help. This science-backed formula supports metabolic balance, curbs cravings, and promotes healthy blood sugar levels, making it easier to stay consistent and in control. It helps give your body the boost it needs to keep you on track. Feel confident and energized this year with Quicksilver Scientific's GLP-1 amplifier. Get 10% off and free shipping at tryqs.com/podcast. Again, that's tryqs.com/podcast for 10% off and free shipping. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha Steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
just nasty. It was very, very nasty. Don't get me started with Gigi. I do think that Gonessa is the worst of them, and they were just really, really toxic to each other. So the whole group is not back. It's just Reza and his husband, MJ, and her husband, Tommy, and her mom, Vida, and Gonessa. I think I've seen online some people have a problem with the name of the show, but after watching the two episodes, I am okay with it. I think it is just like the Valley and the whole concept of the Valley, but Persian style, because it is very, very infused with their culture. So yes, I said I was not excited about it. I think that they were very, very toxic. But after watching again the two episodes, it's not bad at all. They have material. They have like all the idea of what they were trying to do. It's very similar to the Valley. I think my only issue is it's a little depressing because it's it's giving the image that adulting is a scam, which is true, and basically everyone just gets older and gets miserable in their marriage, which is not always true, but is the reality for a lot of people. But we get to meet a lot of characters who just seem like they hate their spouses and they're just in it just because, which is something that we've seen also on the Valley. And for me to say that the Valley has more happy couples than the Valley Persian style, that's saying a lot. Going back to me saying that I think Vanessa is the worst, like it's good to see that she has not grown at all. She still, is 100. Maybe she's grown 1%, but it's not enough growth. Like, again, we're all older. I think Reza is like 51, so is, I think, MJ, and you can see changes in them, but I also don't know if it's a case of Reza trying to be on his best behavior, to keep a check, because Reza still gets my side eye. I still remember what he did to Davon on the goat, just talking to her crazy even in interviews, but you know, you do things, you still get rewarded with a show. But um yes, Gonessa has never had a job in her life. I feel like I recall her having companies where they just fluff companies and they were not actual companies, but she had like a weed company and she had like a lingerie company. Am I making that up in my head? But for her to not have a job, I think I had to sit with that, and I was thinking, am I envious, or do I feel sorry for her? Do I want my parent to just bankroll my life? I do think that her dad has done her a disservice because he's not going to be here forever, but to just provide money to the point where her credit is bad, guys. She's trying to get a house, but she can't get a house because her credit is really bad. And this is a country that operates on credit. Like, what is she doing with her money? What did she do with all her Shaw's money? And I don't follow her or know anything, but I would assume that she's an influencer like everybody else making money. So why is her credit so bad? And why at her big age and as a mom not know that you need to get your credit up so you can get nice things? And she's insistent that she lives in a 6 bedroom house right now, so she has to be in a 6 bedroom house. And when her friends try to tell her that she needs to downgrade, she just gets really mad at them that she's not going to downgrade her life. So she has not learned anything. Many years have passed and it's still the same thing. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but it is a running storyline because all they do is keep talking about it. Everywhere they go for an event and like, what are you going to do about the house? Because her landlord is kicking her out. So she's running out of time to get a house. And she wants most of the bedrooms because she wants it as closets for her clothes. So I don't know. I don't know, Shongji. And she tells us that she spends like at least 3 to 4 thousand on weed. And it's because, and she's like, if I'm not on weed, it's to keep the world safe. Just like, all right, let's do better. Okay. Yeah, and I guess I'm trying to think if we've seen Gigi on anything else because we have kind of seen MJ. We saw MJ on Traders. We saw Reza on Traders. He was first booed. We saw him on The Goat, and now he's on The Worst Cooks in America. So he's working. MJ, I don't think I knew this, but MJ is a part of the agency, Mauricio's real estate company. So, and when we first met them, they were all realtors. So that's what she's doing. So it's interesting to watch MJ and Tommy on the show, knowing that they are in the brinks of, not in the brink, but they're in the throes of divorce right now. And MJ just seems so muted right now. Like, she just doesn't seem happy, or the MJ that I know. And I want to say that this is a good thing because she was just, she seems calmer now, but it's, if you look deeper into it, you could just see that she's uncomfortable with a lot of the things that Tommy does. Like, Tommy is, he explains that to us, and we saw that during the show where he's a New Yorker, he grew up, in tough streets, so he's a diamond in the rough is the best way that I can put it. And nothing has changed. This is who he was when they got married. But I think the thing I didn't like is like, now they have a kid and his kid is picking up on how he talks to her, and the way he talks to her is not always, careful or nice. Like, the son is just like, making fun of her also, and you can tell that MJ is not comfortable with that. I had made like notes on that before she actually had a conversation with her mom and is telling her mom, like, I don't like it, but I also don't want to be the mom that corrects him all the time because that's what you did to me. If y'all remember Vida, Vida is the cause of every trauma in MJ's life because Vida is just always on MJ's case. Like, MJ can never be good enough for her. She loves MJ, but she has a funny way of showing it. Like, even when she's going on her date night and she asked her mom, how do I look? Because you could tell that MJ is still looking for her mom's approval. Her mom is like, it's fine, it's okay, just don't eat too much, comments like that. So I don't know. I kind of feel bad for her because she does tell her mom that she's not happy with Tommy. And then even when she tells her, she's mocking her and telling her that, you're trying to blame Tommy, like you're just not happy and it's something else, but you're just trying to put the blame on him. And Tommy on his part is very emotional about it, thinking like, oh, I'm a good husband and I do all the things for you, but you don't appreciate it. But I think Tommy's just comfortable. You can't just be there because MJ talks a lot about being in a rut when you become a mom and you've been married that long. They've been married 7 years, I think. And, he's just, always talking about diarrhea and the bathroom and just not being romantic. And all the girl is looking for is a little romance. I mean, he tries in his own way. I think when she came out, he tells his son, tell mom that she looks pretty, but then he spoils it by going like, she wears a lot of makeup, doesn't she? And then the son joins in and saying, yeah, and it makes her not look the way she should. And it's like, oh gosh, this is not good. He's just 6 years old. It's not okay. So the other thing also is Tommy absolutely refuses to hang out with the group. He always drops her off, but then he's out. He's not hanging out with them. I have to say that I am with Tommy on this based on the last interaction. Like, don't ask me to make nice with people who are awful. You have to remember that MJ had a really, really traumatic birth of her child. She was in the hospital for a long time. None of them came to see her. And, he said those awful things. So that's all he sees. And that's all he remembers from his point of view. Was Tommy completely right? No. He went and he trashed Reza's uh, backyard, and that was not okay. But I'm fuzzy on whether he apologized or not. But I think it's well within his right to be like, I'm not going to make nice with people who are awful. Like, you may be used to the toxicity, but I don't, have to be. So that's where they are on that. And it's making her uncomfortable because she feels like she's in the middle and she just wants them to get along and she doesn't want them asking, what's going on in your marriage? What's going on? And Tommy's like, I don't care. Like, we know we're good. So you roll with that. Some of the new cast members, we have Tanine, who's married to Greg. Tanine to me is stunning. But she is also, I think she's also one of the ones sleeping in a separate bedroom from her husband. And then we have Sky, who does not look happy to be there. And based on Gigi, like she's kind of snobbish. Like I think she just can't stand everything that Gigi stands for. Um, she's also in a separate bedroom with her husband, but she says it's because of his snoring. But honestly, I think she just can't stand him, just like Tanine just can't stand her husband. And the irony of it all is Tanine and Sky do everything together. They travel together, they do all that. I think at some point Tanine is like, well, the things that I don't get from my husband, I could just do it with Sky. At first, in the first episode, I was like, well, it's too early to tell if this separate room thing is a sign of trouble or if it's what works for them. But yeah, it's a sign of trouble. These they they are seeking in each other whatever it is they're not getting from their husband. Sky is just always upset with her husband. I think there's a 19-year age gap with them. And Greg shares with us with Tanine how they got together, how they had an accident. She had an accident and he thought he was going to lose her. And, they didn't. And then they were just friends. And then they decided that they wanted to be together. Well, they were girlfriend, boyfriend, but then they got married and they were together. And she says in the confessional, like, if that didn't happen, we might not have been together. And Greg is like, yeah, it was trauma bonding. And I'm like, oof. This is not looking good. And then Greg said something so weird that is like, they say after how many years, it feels like you're having sex with your sister. What? And they were not even in the same room. And Tinine is like, yeah, I feel like I'm with my brother. Like, it's like having a brother, like you can't depend on something like that. And I'm like, these are just terrible ways to talk about your spouse. They basically just sound like they don't like each other. And then we have Natasha and Amir. And Amir was married before. He was married for 2 years and he lost his wife to cancer. And now he's married to Natasha. he's the good guy, I believe, but he also knows what he's lost, so he cherishes everything with Natasha. Even though the previews seem to imply that maybe he's still in love with his wife, I don't know. His wife that passed away. So we will see what happens with them. There's a last person. Oh, there's another Reza, but he's single. He's 35, single, and he's a fuck boy, but he's saying that he's not a fuck boy, but he is because he's one of those late bloomers. So he's trying to extend this as long as possible and doing all that. Reza and his husband Adam are going on 10 years. Honestly, I can't believe they're still together, but they are still together. And Adam is fine with them not having kids and is okay with the life that they are building right now. So, like I said, I do think the show has a lot of meat, and I do always appreciate that they bring a lot of their culture and we get to see, like, what the differences and from the valley is. It's just like basically it's the same struggles, the same adulting, but they bring their culture into it, which is always fun for me because I like seeing, other cultures. They have a lot of their dinners. I was gonna say like, oh, how can Gigi just mention like, oh, in the time since I've been off TV, I got married twice, and then we're not gonna hear anything about it. But I think that's coming in future episodes, and also something is going on with Gigi and the other Reza because he had a date on there and she kept giggling. So I'm not sure what's going on there if they've hooked up or she wants to hook up with him. But pray for Gigi, y'all. I just hope that she can figure it out. So I don't know if maybe some members of the ex cast members of Shaw's might make an appearance. I don't know, but for now, I think they're good. I think they have a lot to work on, and I just wonder and if it's going to follow the same steps of the Valley, where we got a bunch of divorces by the end of season one. Because, like I said, these people seem miserable, and it just seems like that might maybe some space to figure out what works best for them. Because let's say someone like Sky, every time she talks about them, she's like, yeah, we bicker, yeah, we may do this, but she doesn't say but we love each other in the end. She just says we have an amazing family. So that's about it, and that's it. So let me know if you're watching and if you like the first two episodes. So the final show I am going to talk about is 90 Day the Other Way. I think this is the weakest of the franchises that are airing right now for me because it's just dragging. It's just not picking my attention, but I kind of caught up on what was going on the show. If you've been here before, then you've heard this before, but if you're new here, I always remember, and I always share with people what my former co-host Aid always said, that 90 Day the Other Way is always temporary. No one actually fully stays except for Jenny. And it looks like the season is about to end. So things are wrapping up. And now everyone is making up their reasons for why they're probably headed back home. Let's go home temporarily. Oh, I'll be back and things like that. But everyone is beginning to come up with the reasons why they're going to make their way back to America. Manon has finally bought a house. Like, Manon has grated on my nerves the entire season, and she finally bought a house, but she's still unhappy, and I don't know if anything is going to make her happy at this point. So I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen with that, because I wonder what her excuse would be to move back. I don't even know if they can move back because they sold the house. So I'm curious to see what will happen when the tell all comes by. Luke is in town for the wedding, and I like the way Luke stands up for his son. Like, Luke's dad stands up for him, and he's just here to stand up for his son in this marriage that honestly should not happen. Listen, they're having dinner, and I think Luke's dad asked Madeline, like, do you trust him? And there's this long pause, and she's like, oh, I'm working to. If you cannot unequivocally say that you trust the man that you are marrying tomorrow, what are you doing? I still can't get over when she threw the cake or whatever in his face. Like, that was a lot. So I don't know why they're getting married, and Luke seems to have big dreams that he doesn't have the money for. But yeah, this should not happen, and someone needs to stop them at their wedding tomorrow. Um, Dylan proposes to Patia. And remember, Patia is like, oh yeah, how about I just go back home and dance, make some money for like 6 months. And now he proposes, and I'm like, is this a proposal to shut her up? Because I don't even know if Dylan wants to get married. I'm so torn on how he feels about her. I don't know if he feels like it's just been so long, so he just wants to keep it that way. But I don't know. He put some thought into the proposal. It happened. Patia seems to be happy, but we'll see what happens. Chloe finally sees with her own two eyes that Johnny ain't about it. I think I don't know why Johnny just didn't call it off. Johnny was just giving like he was not interested in her anymore, and he seems to have turned her off by the fact that, for lack of a better word, she's spoiled. I mean, again, all these people have been the same way. To start poking holes at something they've always been from beginning, it's kind of weird. But he should have just called it off, but he left his phone. And I love that she said, I respectfully went through the phone to see what was in there. And he saw, she saw DMs, and he said, oh, it was a stupid joke about, oh, I'll come hang out with you only if it's a threesome. This is someone that wanted to be caught. This is someone that wanted out, and he should have done it, the right way. But you never know. You think these people are done, and then they'll come back and forgive each other, and they'll still be together. So she didn't fly back home. She still rented a place to still stay. So I don't know how this is going to end, but everybody has been trying to tell her, like, yeah, this is not going to work out. Johnny's not ready for this. So let's see if this is enough to get her out. Our true other way people, Jenny is ready to go back to the apartment that she and Sumit had, because it is all too much living with her mother-in-law, because they need to bend the rules for Jenny. I don't think they realize Jenny's an older lady. She cannot do the same thing that they expect of the daughter-in-laws. But I think even Sumit's brother's wife has had it up to here. So good on Sumit for speaking for all of them. I know he's standing up for his wife, but I just really appreciate the way that he stands up for her, because one thing Sumit is gonna do, he will always stand up for his wife. But she's ready to move back to the apartment. I don't know what's gonna happen. This sham of a cafe that I don't think they've made 5 cents since they opened it. I don't know where that's gonna go. But I am ready for, honestly, the season to be done. Before the 90 days, I am enjoying, but the other way, I'm kind of over it. But I'm sad for the tell-all. I usually enjoy the tell-alls because that's a way to just wrap up everything and see where everybody is at this point. Okay. Well, that's all the shows for this week. Let me know what you watched and what you thought. And if there's any show that you want to hear my thoughts on, let me know. And you know where to find me on all the socials is AltoCall MAFS. And stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.